So what I wanted to do now was I wanted to introduce Jim Holmes. And Jim is a kidney cancer patient. And he would just like to share his story. And then Dr. Black will speak after him. Thanks, Jim.
I'm Jim Holmes, and I've been asked to say a few words sort of from a patient's point of view. And being such a big fan of Kidney Cancer Canada, I certainly wouldn't say no. So I'll tell you a little story about my life a little bit here. But I figured I was going to talk to people, I needed a prop. So I brought a prop along. This is my t-shirt here. And this t-shirt, it says on it, and you probably can't see that very well, but it says, "Life is good." And when I first got it, it inspired me a lot. So, life is good. Remember that. 2001, though, was not a really good year for me. I started the year diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and that's self-inflicted, and sort of got around it eventually there. And next, by the first day of summer, my ex-wife and I decided to separate after a dozen so years of marriage. Later that same year, my doctor called me into his office to tell me that I have kidney cancer. I think if I had a dog and it died, I would have great makings for a country and western song. It was a great year. Anyways, things moved rapidly that year, and there was the removal of my left kidney. That all happened before Christmas, and I recovered basically cancer-free by the spring of 2002. Things were good, although I still can't bring myself to eat steak and kidney pie. I don't know where that kidney went. So. Anyways, life is good. Smooth sailing for a few years until 2004, when we spotted a growth on my liver. It took most of 2005, which was kind of long and painful to get around to a surgery to remove about a third of my liver, and the tumor, of course, along with it. First, some chemoembolization, and the doctors that will be talking to you later are all good with big words. I don't have big words here. But anyways, that was part of the process, and then a lobectomy, and once again, out of the hospital by Christmas. Recovery for this one was no treat either, but was doing pretty good by January of 2006. Life is good. In 2007 finds me back at the cancer agency with a tumor in my upper right chest and lung. It's about the size of a golf ball, maybe a little bit bigger. And that nasty little bugger, though, parked itself in a spot, hiding behind enough veins and arteries that we couldn't get at it surgically. And not that that wasn't enough, it goes and invites a bunch of his small cousins to the party. Put a couple more in there. The good news, though, that year was that I came under the care of my buddy, Dr. Kohlmansberger. The better news in 2008 is that my partner, Kathy, and I got married. She's been by my side always. Thank you, my dear. Anyways, so we started the chemo years, and I'm still on them. The side effects from this variety of chemicals, I'm not sure if the doctors mix them up in the back room or what, but it kind of makes it pretty hard to insert a life is good right at this point. But side effects are side effects. So the side effects from these drugs are difficult at best. I won't go into details, but I'll invite any questions you may have when I'm done. The chemo drugs were as follows, and Dr. Kohlmansberger, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but started out with something called AZD2171 on a trial at the beginning. Only got about a year out of that one. Sutent began August of 2008, and I could whine for hours about the side effects of Sutent. I won't bore you with that really, but on. I should let my wife tell this little sidebar I got here. We went on a vacation to Mexico, and my hand-foot syndrome side effect was getting pretty bad. It got so bad that I was having difficulty walking. As the plane landed, I realized I had no soft slippers. So I stole 2 pillows from Alaska Airlines and taped them to my feet. Improvise, improvise. Kathy also has a great picture of me crawling on my hands and knees to get to the beach. You have to have a good sense of humor about things, and I think we do a good job. Everolimus came into my life after Suitent, and I was a star on that drug. I tolerated the drug for nearly 5 years, and it's sort of good. I'm currently on axitinib. That's been for the last 10, 11 months now, and it seems to be holding the tumors at bay. And my last CT scan showed slight shrinkage. Good music when you get one of those reports. Life is good. What I've found, though, is that it's not about what life owes me. It's all about what life gives you. And if you can recognize that and just pick out the good stuff, you'll do just fine. So, life is good. Just look at me now. 13 years and counting. So, that's all I have to say tonight. And that's that. Bring Sue back up here.